Welcome back to Bay Sunday. Now, some believe that the immigration courts are in a state of crisis and on the verge of breaking down. This country has been struggling with how we should overhaul the system. Our next guest has some unique insight. He served as an immigration court judge. He's also a professor of immigration and now an author. Let's welcome Paul Grussendorf, the author of My Trials, What I Learned in Immigration Court, a shocking look inside America's deportation factories. And good morning to you, Paul.
Morning, Grace. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Now, this issue, I think a lot of people don't realize that we have a special court system here, and they really have too many cases. What, 300,000 a year?
Well, there's approximately 300,000 deportations every year. We have about 53 immigration courts around the country with about 250 judges, and currently the caseload for each judge is about 1,500 cases a year.
Which is ridiculous. And I think what people don't realize is what happens then is that if you are waiting for your case to be heard, here in California, it's the worst, right? Some people have to wait up to 2 years before they even see a judge.
Well, currently, I was just speaking to local attorneys yesterday, about 2.5 years now, from the first appearance in court until the next appearance, which would decide your case.
Now, we're talking about illegal immigrants, and why would they have to show up in court? It's anything from a traffic violation or what? What is it exactly?
There's all kinds of ways that they might fall into the so-called ICE, Immigration and Customs Enforcement dragnet. Sometimes ICE makes raids of local, for example, Hispanic restaurants, or a lot of migrant workers who are living in housing together. They might just coincidentally fall subject to an ICE raid.
Mm-hmm. So what, as a retired judge, what is the biggest problem that you see? What's the biggest form of abuse that you're seeing to illegal immigrants?
Yeah, well, what I call the immigration deportation factory, the reason that I call it that in my book is because it's really because of the burden on the judges and on the system of trying to move so many cases through the system. It's really more like assembly line justice. Even the best intentioned judges will tell you that they don't have time to reasonably adjudicate a strong case, such as for asylum or for cancellation of removal. And so, like any bureaucracy, either the immigration courts or ICE, they thrive on numbers. So it's a numbers game. They're looking for high volume, unfortunately, rather than quality. So
you're saying what, a lot of people who are deported are actually hardworking people here, and they're being deported unfairly?
Well, they might or even might not be in the country illegally, but currently the statistics for people who are brought into court who do not have a lawyer, who cannot afford a lawyer, are about 50%. And if you are detained, it's even higher, upwards of 70%. Of detained immigrants or aliens do not have an attorney, and so they might not even know what their rights are. They might not even know that, well, you know, buddy, you could fight this case based upon this or this or this, or you might even be a U.S. citizen through parentage, and they don't have an attorney who can assess the case and advise them of that.
I know it's a tough issue out there, and there are lots of ways that you think that you can reform it. So we want to thank Paul today for joining us here on Bay Sunday. And if you want to see more, just check out his book. It is available on ebook only. If you want to learn more, check out My Trials, What I Learned in Immigration Court. Thanks for joining us here on Bay Sunday.